Well, here it is. The memo has been released, declassified by order of the President, February 2nd, 2018. HPSCI majority members, HPSCI majority staff from subject, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, abuse of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They come right off and say it immediately. This memorandum provides the members an update and significant facts relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the Department of Justice, DOJ, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, and their use of Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, during the 2016 presidential election cycle. Our findings, which are detailed below, raise concerns with the legality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISA, and represent a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuse related to the FISA process. Investigation update. On October 21st, 2016, DOJ and FBI sought to receive FISA probable cause order not under the title, I hate Roman numerals, that'd be 7, authorizing electronic surveillance and charter page from FISA. No, it's not FISA. Where? Okay. This is a very tiny document on my phone as I'm reading it, so I'm getting lost on the page. The page is a U.S. citizen, or Carter Page. Page is a U.S. citizen who serves as a volunteer advisor to Trump presidential campaign consultant with requirements under FISA. An application had to be first certified by the Director of Deputy of the FBI, then required approval by the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, and Senate confirmation Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. The FBI and DOJ obtained one initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals from FISA as required by statute 50 U.S.C. 0.5D, a bunch of gobbledygook, on FISA order as American citizens must be renewed by the FISA every 90 days, and each renewal requires a separate finding of the probable cause. Then Director James Comey signed the FISA application. In question on behalf of the FBI, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed, then DAG Sally Yates, then Acting DAG Dana Bonet, Rod Rosenstein, each signed one or more FISA applications on behalf of the DOJ. One of the sensitive natures of foreign intelligence activities, FISA submissions, including renewals before the FISA are classified. I guess FISC is the committee, I would imagine. Didn't go outright and say that. As such, the public confidence in the integrity of a FISA process depends on the court's ability to hold the government to highest standards, particularly as it relates to surveillance of American citizens. However, FISA's rigor in protecting the rights of Americans, which reinforced the 90-day renewal of surveillance orders, is necessarily dependent on the government's production of the court of all material and relevant facts. This should include information potentially favorable to the target of the FISA application. application that is known by the government. In the case of Carter Page and the government, at least 4 independent opportunities before the FISIC, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, or if I should even be pronouncing it, considering it's an abbreviation for something. But it's not FISA. To accurately provide an accounting of the relevant facts. However, our findings indicating that described below material and relevant information was omitted. The dossier compiled by Christopher Steele dossier on behalf of the Democratic National Committee, DNC, and Hillary Clinton campaign formed an essential part of the Carter Page FISA application. We knew it. They blew it. Steele was a longtime FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Cole. Perkins Cole. Okay. And research firm Fusion GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump ties to Russia. Neither the initial application on October of 2016 or any of the I didn't want to talk right this second. Neither any of the initial application on October 2016 or any of the renewals disclosed or referenced in the roles of the DNC Clinton campaign or any party campaigns in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of Steele's dossier were known to senior DOJ and FBI officials. The initial FISA application notes Steele was working for a named U.S. person, but does not name Fusion GPS as a principal, and principal Glenn Simpson, who was paid by the U.S. law firm Perkins Coy? I thought it was Cole, but it's not spelled that way on here. Anyway, representing the DNC, even though it was known by DOJ and at the time political actors were involved with Steele's dossier. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf and paid for by the DNC and the Clinton campaign, or the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. Carter Page FISA application also cited extensively September 23, 2016, Yahoo News article by Michael Islikoff, I guess. Ilzakoff, which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it is derived from information leaked by Steele himself on Yahoo News. The Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016, and the director of Fusion GPS, Perkins Coy, I guess, was Coy, I guess? It's an odd name. Was aware of Steele's initial media contacts because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS, where this matter was discussed. Steele was suspended and terminated as a FBI source for what the FBI defines as most serious violations, unauthorized disclosure to media of his relationship with the FBI in October 30th, 2016. Mother Jones article by David Korn. Steele should have been terminated for his previous disclosure contacts with Yahoo and other outlets in September before the Page application was submitted to the FISA in October, but Steele improperly concealed from and lied to the FBI about those contacts. Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling maintaining confidentiality and demonstrating that Steele had become a less than reliable source for the FBI. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with DOJ via the Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, senior DOJ officer who worked closely with Deputy Attorney General Yates, later Rosenstein. Shortly after the election, FBI began interviewing Orr and documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in 2016, Steele admitted to his feelings against the candidate Trump, who Steele said was desperate that Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by Orr at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any of the Page's FISA applications. During this same period of time, Orr's wife was employed with Fusion GPS, assisted in the cultivation of opposition research on Trump, and later provided the FBI with all of his wife's oppositional research, paid for by the DNC. The Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. Orr's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was explicitly concealed from inexplicably. The letters are so tiny I can't read them. Okay. Inexplicably concealed from the FISA. According to the head of the FBI Counterintelligence Division, Assistant Director Bill Presap, corroboration of the Steele dossier was in its infancy at the time of the initial Page FISA application. After Steele was terminated, the source validation report conducted by independent unit with the FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet in early January 2017, Director Comey briefed President-elect Trump on a summary of Steele's dossier, even though it was, according to June 2017 testimony, salacious and unverified. Sorry, this thing is so tiny I can't read it. Unverified. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past records, credible reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored and concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivation. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December 2017 that surveillance warrants would have been sought for FISA without Steele's dossier information. The Page FISA application also mentioned information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Panopoulos, but there is no evidence of cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Panopoulos. Panopoulos' information triggered the opening of an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late July 2016 by the FBI agent Peter Strzok, who was reassigned by the special counsel office to the FBI Human Resources for improper text messaging with his mistress. FBI attorney Lisa Page, no known relation to Carter Page, where they both demonstrated a clear bias against Trump and in favor of Clinton, who Strzok had also investigated. The Strzok-Page text also will reflect extensive discussion about the investigation, orchestration of leaks to the media, and including meetings with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss insurance policy, which against President Trump's election. Wow. That's something else. We knew it, didn't we?